and we've identified the people that they came from across the LOC.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact of the matter is,
without bulletproof vest,
pretty good firepower.
Yeah.
Without bulletproof
it's not somebody from Yahoo from Kashmir who does this.
No,
this is right across a Pakistan border post. No, but more importantly, what we are seeing is a pattern. There have been already 60 violations of the LOC. And certainly we want to go back to 2003. But the way for that is serious talks and not unplanned summit which ended in disaster like Sharm el-Sheikh or Agra.
This question goes to our guests in Lahore and Islamabad. To Mr. Siddiqui Al-Faruq, my question to you, sir, is that, you know, there is such a huge divide between your army and your political class. And very often your political class has told our political class that we are not creating the trouble, it is the army which is creating the trouble. The Abbottabad documents further highlight that divide. In the whole debate on Osama bin Laden, it shows that you are dealing with multiple power centers in Pakistan. So aren't the people of India totally right in saying that before you talk to Pakistan, let Pakistan...
At a summit level.
At a summit level, not at a secretary level or at a, a CBM level. Before we talk to you at a summit level, let's be first sure that you are in control. Otherwise, Mr. Al-Siddiq, Al-Faruq, it's a waste of time, unfortunately.
Arnav, I just want to add one more thing. You said there is a difference. Please,
let me answer.
Please, Arnav, please. You said there is a difference of opinion between the Pakistani army and the political class. It is not. It is not. It is not. Please.
Lengthy question.
No, Arnav.
And even one question.
No. Arnav, let me read out.
Dozens of questions.
Arnav,
let me answer.
Arnav, please, I want to read out this one sentence. Give me just half a minute. The political resolution passed by the Pakistani
and you can
Assembly.
Ask questions without giving me time for answer.
I'm losing satellite time. I need to go across to our guest in Islamabad and then in Lahore.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Carry on.
Al-Faruq.
First of all, the allegation that Mr. Nawaz Sharif has been or is funding fundamentalists or terrorists, I reject it, because it was Mr. Nawaz Sharif who set up anti-terrorist courts and he was himself attacked by terrorists, number one. Number two, there are so many allegations, but the outstanding issues between India and Pakistan cannot be resolved through these talk shows. After all, we have to rise above these things. We have to sit and we have to show statesmanship if we are really interested in resolving issues. We have not to foment these things. We have to come to terms. We have to show some flexibility to resolve this issue in the interest of India and Pakistan, and for that, Mr. Nawaz Sharif and his government is ready, and I think Mr. Nawaz Sharif is in a better position. You have said that he is not in control of this thing or that thing. He is in a better position to hold talks because he has raised this issue during his election campaign. And whole nation is behind this to resolve these issues.
I'll go to
yes.
Can you give me one example, please? One example of Nawaz Sharif's readiness to talk to India.
To Khalid Mahmood. No, a question to Khalid Mahmood. Please, 1 second. The question to Khalid Mahmood is this, sir, that it is generally believed that the Jalalabad consulate aborted attack, followed by the ambush which happened on the Indian side of the LOC in which 5 Indian soldiers were killed, were clear warnings from the Pakistani army to India. Now your government is telling our government, and I have information at the highest level I was told, that your government is telling our government that we are really very sorry, but this has not been done by us. This has been done by people outside our control.
That was said to Biden also.
This was also said to the Americans earlier, that this was not done by us, it was done by people outside our control. Obviously talking about the Pakistani army and the ISI. But Mr. Khalid Mahmood, is that India's problem? Don't we suffer at the end of the day?
That the Frankenstein and the monsters that have existed now for over some time, the government is trying to bring them under control, and the end game in Afghanistan is attracting a lot of attention. And I think really, instead of heated debates about a situation which is very opaque. I think nobody exactly knows what happened. What has happened is most regrettable, most unfortunate. There should be a dialogue at many levels, multiple levels. And there is an Indian diplomat, former diplomat, who has said that in a situation like this and in all situation of tension between India and Pakistan, there should be uninterrupted and uninterruptible debate. I think time has come that both of us, I think India's potential will be realized if India behaves like a big country in the region. Pakistan's stability will be a factor. I think what is happening in has happened in Afghanistan again is unfortunate. But to look at all these problems, there is need for discussion, there is need for dialogue. I think India and Pakistan can also cooperate on the issue of Afghanistan. Why not? But this will not come through talks. This will not come through the public talks like this. It will come through dialogue. Let us do it quietly. Let us do it well and based on information.
But please tell me, let the Pakistani guest tell us. Let the Pakistani guest tell us who in the first place vitiated the atmosphere. It was India's Prime Minister who was kind enough to send an envoy to Pakistan to meet the person who was not even designated as Prime Minister at that time. This was the gesture from the Indian side. What did you do? What did Pakistan do?
Point for Mr. Farooq. You said Mr. Nawaz Sharif.
Let me quickly tell you.
You said Mr. Sharif does not. Nawaz Sharif has no connections with the Lashkar-e-Taiba. You know, when I was High Commissioner, Mr. Sharif, then Prime Minister, sent Shahid Hamid, the Governor of Punjab, and Mushahid Hussain, his Information Minister, to call on Hafiz Muhammad Saeed. Today, Hafiz Muhammad Saeed is being officially funded, the Jamaat-ud-Dawa, by the Punjab government. Now tell us, if you are an Indian, how would you feel about it when the whole world knows the Mumbai attack was carried out by Lashkar-e-Taiba? This is official funding by the Punjab government made public.
Well, Zafar Ileli raised his hand to respond to that. I think we'll take that offer. Mr. Zafar Ileli, yes. And if you saw Mr. Salman Khurshid's interview, which we are telecasting in full right after the news hour, he very clearly says there must be delivery on 26/11. So there is now one point of reference that we have. Zafar Ileli, before we close.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is regarding Hafiz Abdul Saeed is that this gentleman was arrested because India was certain that he was behind the act. He was questioned, he was examined, he was sent to a civil court and to the High Court. When the civil court and the High Court found that there were no grounds to hold him, the government went to the Supreme Court. And all the time the man was kept under arrest. None of us hold a brief for that man. I certainly do not do so. But in front of the Supreme Court, after a tribunal, that man was found not to be involved in the way that it was made out.
Now, why do you give him crores of Pakistani rupees? No, straight question, Mr. Ileli. Straight question. You don't like him, you hate him, he's an anathema on your country, he's a problem for your people. Why do you pay him your money? Why do you fund him?
Not him, not only him, others like him too. For me.
Why do you fund him? I'm asking you about him. Do you have an answer? Don't you have an answer, Mr. Ileli?
If you know Nawaz Sharif is funding him, if you know Nawaz Sharif is funding him, ask Siddiq Al-Farooq. He is sitting with you. I would not fund him, but if he is, ask him. But as far as Bombay was concerned, let me conclude. Let me conclude my combination. Let me conclude my remarks and simply say, I said after Mumbai to the government of India, please do not fall into the trap of the extremists. Do not break off contacts with the one authority in Pakistan that can deliver. But you said no, and for 2 years we had no progress, nothing.
Because it's counterproductive to your own country from your own logic.
Arnav.
Zafar Ali,
What?
we'll never agree, but I thank you for joining me with all the guests. Thank you for joining us on the News Hour tonight. Thank you.